let you mentally prepare. So Matt's here. He's here, and he's in the closed guard. And I don't appreciate that because he's eventually going to open this guard. He's going to shrimp. He's going to start to attack, right? So Matt goes to open his guard. He goes to attack, right? I don't like any of this, right? Because he's instantly going to be trying to do things that are unfriendly to me. So immediately I have to start doing a couple things. One of the things I like to do, Matt's naturally going to open to one side or the other. I don't care what side that is. I'm going to look to just set that knee grip right here, because there's always a nice bit of cloth kind of bunched up right here. If I'm uncivilized and not wearing pajamas, I'm just going to cup the knee here, but I'm going to look to pin that knee right to the mat. As I do that, I'm going to cut my knee up here. Now Matt's doing what most people are naturally going to do, try to kind of keep this knee in front of you, regardless whether he's trying to sweep or he's just reacting to this. I'm going to use this hand here or this elbow, and I'm going to look to clear this foot off my hip, bringing my hand to his hip and my elbow to the inside of his thigh here. Because my goal here is to open his hips to that kind of uncomfortable butterfly stretch mode. You know, even real flexible people like Dewey's dumbass, you know, you can get them to a point of unflexible here if you get enough hip. Boom. All we're going to look to do here is, once I get here, I'm going to look to drop some shoulder pressure in, scooping that head, or I'm looking to block that bicep, one or the other. It's going to depend more on what they're doing and a little bit of your preference. If they're getting real active with this hand and really trying to do stuff, you're just going to look to block the bicep and kind of just keep it out of your way. If they're being a little more passive about that or trying to do other things, I'm going to look to scoop the head. All I'm going to look to do then, push that knee out of my way, pass my knees over, and boom, we're inside. So Matt turns this way.
Hey Dustin, can you put some emphasis on your shoulder pressure when you come over?
Yeah. So boom, Matt opens. I don't like any of that. So boom, I'm instantly going to look to control the leg. Because the second Matt opens, he's doing something. And very rarely when someone goes from open guard to something like this is it friendly. So boom, I play here, clear, and staple that knee. Boom, I clear this knee out, and I'm looking to pin that hip to the mat and clear that thigh as much as I can. I now have control of his hips, which is my goal. Once I control the hips, I can control the movement. Now, if I'm going to control the bicep, I'm just looking to have that good grip right below his shoulder. Careful about reaching into the elbow pit and setting a real hard grip here. I'll wrist lock you from here. If you haven't seen that, I'll show it later. Because it's just my dirty wrist lock that just makes you scream. Just because I'm rude. But if I'm scooping the head, guys, when I go shoulder pressure here, my goal is to turn Matt's head that way. Clear with that shoulder pressure.
Remember, nobody just stands there.
Now, you can grip the far side of the gi here, just kind of at the top of the shoulder. I like to just kind of cap it and use that shoulder to turn his chin. That's what's going to allow me to hit that pass position. Does that make sense, Jim?
Yeah, I just want to see what I'm just trying to mimic your pressure, because when you pass me your pressure with your shoulder is just...
Yeah, the biggest part of that pressure is when Matt opens here, boom, I get to this position, boom, I clear right, boom, I can get here. When I get this pressure here, my weight is in two spots. All 185 pounds of me is either on his chin and in this thigh. None of my weight is anywhere else. This knee's off, this hand's off, and none of my pressure changes. That's why. You have to be able to put the top half of your pressure here while keeping that good state. So keeping those two hard points of contact is what, one, allows you to move the other two parts of you easily. This leg can float easily because this leg contains all my weight. None of my weight is left over. I can move this hand and the rest of this side of my body because all my weight is pinned here. So that's the biggest part of it, is learning that weight distribution. It's not anything magic, it's literally just the standard shoulder grip. But it's that distribution of the weight between those 2 points. Does that make sense? Any other questions? When you're making this, I have trouble with not letting it out just a little bit to just regard with your knee in that little bit of space. So boom, just make sure I'm near your right. Boom, I get here, I block this bicep. I go to pass here, and he's going to try to come back into this.
Yeah, or just at least get the knee in the way where I just clear it out.
So one with the knee, little bit of that push-pull game. So Matt gets his knee in here. He's got good legs, right? He kicks people for a lot of fun, right? Boom, I'm hand fighting, I'm doing this. I'm going to push, pull. That's going to help that leg a little bit. Now you got to be careful with that because you push too much, you hold too much, you're going to get going, right? But if I'm here, I'm going to push, I'm going to pull that knee out. That's what's going to allow me to open. Now, the reason this hip pin is important while I'm doing this, especially those of you guys who are gi players, I'm going to get a grip of something over here. I don't care what it is, whether it's a little bit of that pant, a little bit of the jacket, a belt, whatever you get your a good solid feel on. Because once I go here, as he goes to move here, that's what allows me to block something. And if I need to, I can re-engage this hand. But using that hip pin and turning him to that far side is going to help you stop a lot of that quick regard. Does that make sense? That hand is what you're missing. You're not either opening the hip enough or using it as enough of a tool.
What did you just do with that hand on that side just now?
He starts to push his knee in.
But you want under, you didn't have an underhook, you want under his torso. This hand just now.
I went, my hand was here. I pushed with that. Just using that hand. I'm still having that shoulder pressure, but I can use that hand. So all my weight's here. This is can still move. Other questions? Drill her out. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm here, right? Boom, I get here. Matt opens back up because he's a jerk and wants to actually do jiu-jitsu and not hold guard and just cry about it, right? So boom, I don't like that, right? Well, let's say I can't get his legs, pinned to the mat. He's moving his hips, he's doing stuff. He's got an active guard. I don't like that. So boom, all I'm going to look to do is clear one hand. Generally, my top hand is going to come from the outside of his thigh to the inside, and I'm going to look to just either place that hand kind of just above the knee or set that gi. For me, I don't feel like the grip helps me any. I like just to kind of get a good piece of thigh on, right? Once I'm there, I'm going to scroll my weight back. One thing I was noticing on Tuesday is a lot of you guys trying to get weight to the thigh did this. The goal is to slide your weight back and then on. The difference in that is very minimal, but makes a big difference from a motion, very minimal from a difference in efficacy, very big. If I go hips up here to apply pressure, Matt moves his legs to the lower part. See how he's got all that motion in his legs here? That's not helpful. I now start to control these a lot better when my weight comes down first. Now, as I start to walk to the side, I'm doing a couple things pressure-wise. All of my weight pressure needs to be right in the kind of upper thigh, lower hip. Right here. That's going to kill a lot of his motion. As I'm doing that, I'm going to look for my unicorn horn right in the middle of his solar plexus. This hand, once again, either blocking the bicep. I'm generally going to look to scoop the head. As I walk past, this hip has to beat the top knee, is the big part of this. Once that hip beats the knee, my knee slides in, this knee comes up. For scoring purposes, you escape the hand, settle into something. Like I said, the biggest details on this, back goes to open, look at the pin things, it's not working, boom. I clear and I get to this weave. Boom, I get here, I start walking past. I'm looking to twist his back this way and twist his legs this way. My knee gets in, up, settle into traditional side control. One more time. Other questions other than one more time?
I've been practicing this for months, and I always, when I scroll, down on the beat, their legs still bending from like
So to go that front side?
or just like they have long waist. I can't. I have trouble.
So let's assume that Matt has really long legs. I sprawl here and he kind of still can block my hips. Couple things that can help you out. I'm here, I sprawl back, and he's still got just enough of that hip connection that like he can stop that here, right? Like that's what a lot of people end up doing is they try to get their feet to your hips and do that hip switch drill. So it makes it really hard to kind of walk through. Couple things. One, when I get that weight down, this hand to start can pin an ankle. That's one thing that can help. Early in that pass, you can pin that ankle to the mat. Because I don't care how long, Eli's legs can still be pinned. Like that, I can be here, pin that ankle. Once I get to here, then I'm going to look. Head control. That's one of the easiest ways, is just pin that ankle. The other way is once I get here, is if he's being real stubborn with these legs I can bundle them. Wrap them up, like we're going to Habib now, and then walk through them. So instead of just trying to lever them back, bundle them up. So I get to here, instead of just staying here and trying to pressure that weight, I'm going to bundle them into myself. Which now, even when he had that connection, works efficiently well in the gi.
And if you don't have the gi and you
I'm just scooping that knee in.
So your knee shield gets pinned down by your shoulder immediately.
Boom. And this leg is generally going to be the one that causes the problem. So like I said, you can pin these early and still move, right? That's fine. If it's not working, I bundle his knees up and work them past myself. Then come in.
Then you go into the hip.
Then I go into that unicorn horn in the chest, walk around.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
And I think I'm trying to go for it. I'm not sure. I'm just not getting that pressure when I pass through.
Biggest thing with the pressure is, guys, a lot of people try to sprawl and just kind of hope the weight of them finishes the legs. When I'm here, I'm still actively distributing my weight. I'm still actively on my toes distributing this weight. I'm not just like sprawled out. That's what a lot of us end up trying to do in this pass is you kind of just sprawl out. I'm actively contributing to my weight on this leg, and that's what allows me to do this. That shoulder pressure is an active with my toes pressure, not hoping the just siphoning of my weight down is going to do it. Does that make sense?
Sir.
Shoulder out. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm here with Matt. Matt's a crafty grappler. He opens his hips. He does all this fun stuff. Boom. I get to my weave. I get here. I try to stop everything, but Matt's being just crafty enough that I can't go this way, right? That's fine. All we're going to do, this hand comes behind. I'm going to slide back this way. I'm going to look to fall right into reverse side. If you want to be difficult, I'll just change the direction. There's no need to fight people when they're being difficult. I'm here, boom. Walking, boom. I step, block the leg, fall inside. Once you're in reverse side, options bar's pretty open. You can stay here, lever into leg drag, transfer back to reverse side, high step out. Options bar is pretty open. Everything else is the same, guys. They open. You get here, boom. As I start to walk here, Matt's got flexible hips and athletic enough that I don't like that. I just step the other way. Arm into the middle. The biggest win you have to have in this battle is this elbow has to meet the inside of this elbow. If it doesn't, you need to turn in quickly. Or just give them your back, whichever preferable would be. My elbow has to beat the inside of that elbow.
I'm just trying to pick up on weight distribution differences. You're coming around, can I just see, I can see smash in, but
So I'm here, I'm walking this way, right? Now all my weight goes from pressuring the hip, from pressuring this way to back, it's leaning back this way. That's what allows me to slide in.
You don't drop your knee until after you're past.
Yeah, once I'm past his waist, then my knees are in. Because I've beat the hips, I've cut him off at this point, the legs are addressed.
You gotta beat the hips before I drop the waist.
Yes.
And then drop the waist.
I don't know, but it's funny watching my face. I bet my pants.
That's true. Other questions on this?
Can I see like the scenario where you don't put your elbow where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, so I'm here in reverse side, right? Matt's good at jiu-jitsu. I go here and I just hang out here. Like, just give him your back if you're not going to win the elbow battle or turn it. Just save everyone the time and effort at that point, because that's all you're doing. Is best case scenario, he sits up and you kind of can scramble in and go, come back this way. What actually happens 9 times out of 10 is they're crafty enough to just take it. So that's why you have to win. This elbow either has to be here or it has to be coming back here for you to sit there. There's not a, oh, well, yeah, you let him win that so you don't. None of you are that crafty. I'm not that crafty. So, boom, you weave. They block you going this way. Pass the other side. 1, 2, 3. Boom, I'm here. Matt opens his guard. I don't appreciate it. Boom, I weave. I go to sprawl. But for whatever reason, I just can't walk either direction. All we're going to do, the hand that is low, is going to unweave a little bit. I'm going to look to scoop his bottom knee. As we get here, I'm going to look to high step and scoop his legs. Looking to just step barely over his knees. Because once I'm here, I cross my feet and I sit on his knees. You'll hear this referred to as Russian mount before they were assholes and invaded places, so you'll hear this referred to as Heave mount now. But once you're here, options bar. If you are uncivilized and punch people, one of my favorite places to punch people from. Because there's an immediate reaction that you want to push my hips away and try to go away from me, and just slapping the shit out of you right from here. Now, if not, all you do is you pick up the bottom ankle here, this one, scoop it up, and you're in mount at that point. But it kills that leg motion immediately. It takes you from an open guard to mount almost immediately. Which is why I like this one. So boom, I'm weaving, I'm trying to walk past, it's not working. Boom, I bundle, and I'm trying to straighten his legs as much as I can. Step over, scoop those legs up. Looking to cross my feet if you can, if not, pinch your toes. You get praying feet, and I'll spin here in a second. Boom, you get here and you sit on it. Because once I'm here, there's a lot of weird pressure in your knees, isn't there? It feels weird. So the immediate reaction of like pushing my hips feels right. And it allows you to just step in there. Which is like this one. Like I said, for those of you who are uncivilized, beautiful punch them in the face position. Because every motion's wrong at that point. If they try to push your hips away, they can't protect their face. If they protect their face, they can't guard their body or stop the mouth. So it's just great. Boom, I weave, I get here, trying to walk past, it's not working, right? I collect the legs, step through, and so I'm just trying to sit on or just above that knee line. Matt tries to push my hips and do anything here. I just have too much control. Pick your bottom foot up, arc it over, you're in a or you stay there and can do other things. Like I said, for jiu-jitsu purposes, you use that to kill the leg motion and then take them out. Questions on this?
You fuck up and you're below the net. You hug him and then like...
Yeah, you can flat up. So like, let's say I fuck this up, because I'm bad at jiu-jitsu some days, right? I wake up and I'm like holding. Boom, I get here and I'm just below that knee line, right? I'm still here. I'm going to look for a grip somewhere up here. Just set those knees over. And worst case, you're here. Sprawl back. And recline. You know, there's options. You don't have to panic if you miss the knees. Other questions? So So if I have pajamas, I'm gonna look to grab, and I'm gonna look to almost kind of set a grip below here. If I'm no-gi, I'll just collect with my hands. Then once you're here, like I said, it's real simple. I'll arc over and get them out. Punch them out for making me bleed. Not normal, civilized stuff. Other questions on this?
Sometimes I feel like my arms aren't long enough to reach it down both ways.
You're not smishing them. If your arms aren't long enough to grab around two legs that are then like this, I don't know what happened to the rest of your arms. So what's normally happening there is they've opened these legs and you're like, I can't collapse the weight on top of those knees. No one's arms are that short. Not even Chad.
So, if I see this coming, how am I defending against this? Like if they go for both, is it just you're holding your legs wide and hoping for the best?
Yeah, hoping for the best. You know, the jackass answer of don't let him get there is always the right answer, right? But if I'm here and Matt's got my legs kind of bundled here, like he's here, he's kind of bundling my legs. Boom. He's kind of got me bundled here. I have to start pushing his head. That's my hope, is to kind of start kind of shrimping and getting away and turned into him as much as I can. That's your best bet, and trying to unpack the feet. But yeah, pushing that head and shrimping is going to be best case scenario for you. May not always work, but it's going to at least make his life harder and less secure when he gets to where he's going. Other questions? 1, 2, 3.